there's a HIV outbreak in the USA, mainly Houston, Atlanta, New Orleans, the Carolinas, Pennsylvania, Jackson, Mississippi, and Alabama. So, yeah, people have been all over TikTok warning women to, like, people are even moving away from Houston. But there's warnings, if you're in Houston, to be careful. Atlanta has been a hotspot for HIV and STDs for a long time. Now, I'm not going to talk about how this began, why certain communities have higher rates of HIV and STDs than other communities. That's a whole nother video. But we have to address the situation because there is a pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, in the USA regarding HIV and STDs. It's been coming up on my timeline on TikTok. That's how it was brought to my attention, through TikTok and other social media apps, mainly TikTok. So, yeah, big problem. You got these guys with a lot of money, partaking in criminal activity. Well, mostly. Some could be, corporate businessmen, whatever. But, you got these wealthy men pulling up to gas stations, as they call them in the USA. The nice car, nice clothes, looking fresh, sunglasses, whatever. And this is what women are attracted to. Most of the women in the USA migrate to Houston and Texas because they think that's where the wealthy men are, or a lot of wealthy men are there. So they're getting greeted by these men, baby, I'll take care of you, rah, rah, rah. And, if they're physically attractive, the girl's already, half interested anyway. So a lot of these women, or women in general, are looking for a meal ticket, looking for someone to take care of them. Relationships are ending because you don't do enough, you do the bare minimum. He can take care of me better. He's offered me this. They sound like an athlete bargaining for a better contract. Do you know what I mean? But that's just how the world is in 2025. So you got these men, offering women a better lifestyle. They got the wads of cash, rah, rah, rah. And it all looks pretty on the surface. You know what I'm saying? The dinners, the events, the social media pictures, it all looks good on the surface until you sleep with the guy unprotected and, 3 months, or I don't even know how long it takes for HIV to become apparent in your system. Obviously, I don't have that problem, but yeah, some months later down the track, they begin to get symptoms of either STDs and, worst case scenario, HIV. So this is just basically an awareness video. Thank God we don't have that problem in Australia as yet. But I will say one thing. I know a girl from Western Sydney who goes to America quite often. And I found it alarming that she was taking pictures with several men on one trip to the USA. Like, I'm no one to judge. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have sexual intercourse with multiple men on one trip to the USA, so be it. You know what I mean? That's your life. But the concern I have is if she's going over there sleeping with, well, I don't even know if she slept with multiple men, but I know what men are like, and she ain't going. She told me personally, so this is how I know. She told me personally. She said, well, I'm not going over to America and, not having fun, as she calls it. I knew what she meant. She probably said the exact words, but I don't want to repeat it on here. She basically said, I'm not going over to the USA and not getting fucked, pretty much. So that's her. I said, yeah, sweet, do what you got to do. It's your life. More, well, I won't say more power to you because I'm not trying to empower women that live like that. If they want to live like that, that's their choice. But the only issue I have with it is when people travel to the USA, females, males, whatever, if they're sleeping unprotected with the opposite sex, then obviously they're going to bring it back over here. It is what it is. It's a life cycle. But this is just an awareness video to be careful. If you don't know the girl, wear protection. Like, it's none of my business, but it sort of is my business if I'm a citizen in this world and diseases are spreading and stuff like that. Do what you got to do, but I'm just making a video to raise awareness. Diseases are out there. This shit is real. The last thing you want is HIV. So, yeah, to that girl who, was taking photos with at least 4 or 5 different guys on one trip to the USA and posting them on social media without shame. I hope, you haven't contracted anything over there. Because as I said, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 multiple areas in the USA, there's an alarming rate of HIV. I recently met a girl who was who is married, and she told me that before she married her husband, before she even engaged in sexual intercourse with her now husband, she made him get a test, and she got tested, and they both exchanged test results, and so that they both knew that they were entering a relationship, without any issues or diseases, to be blunt. So yeah, that's one method that girls are using to keep safe. It's crazy out there. As I said, this is just a video to raise awareness. Everyone be careful out there. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this stuff is real and you can't ignore it. And it's showing up on my feed because, some guys out there aren't even disclosing to a woman that they have HIV or an STD or have contracted it, and they're passing it on knowingly. And I think it's a federal offense, or it should be a federal offense, because that can be classed as manslaughter. If you know that you're sick and you're knowingly passing it on to a woman without disclosing that information, then that's a serious offense, in my opinion. It would be great if there was no diseases present on Earth, but there is, and we have to be smart and we have to deal with it and adapt accordingly. So it is what it is. In 2025, there is a HIV pandemic throughout USA, more predominantly in 7 areas that I mentioned. So if you're traveling to the USA or plan to, just be careful, because nothing's going to stop these people from traveling to different countries, Europe, Australia, Asia. And as I said, this shit has the potential to spread and, really have an effect on humanity. So just be careful out there. That's all I wanted to do, is just raise some awareness and, just be careful. Because on the video before this, I talked about other health issues, including, diabetes, heart disease, But this is a completely different health issue, which is still acquired through negligence. You know what I mean? Diabetes is acquired through not watching your sugar and being negligent that way. STDs and HIV is acquired through also, I guess, being careless. Not many people enjoy using protection when they're having sex, but at the end of the day, you got to weigh up the probability of contracting a disease like HIV. And although there is medication to keep it under control so it doesn't blow out into full-blown AIDS, Do you really want to be on medication for the rest of your life? Do you know the side effects of that medication? It's going to cost you money. Plus, if you do have HIV, it's going to limit the number of new possibilities for new partners that you could be with. Because, look, it's a nasty thing. No one wants to have it. So just be careful out there. Keep it in mind. And the world's, turning into a whole different thing in 2025. That's enough from me today. It's a beautiful Saturday. NRLW, you know what it is. So I'm going to go enjoy my day. I just wanted to post this video, raise some awareness. I'd love to live in a world that's all peaches and cream and no issues, but the world ain't like that, unfortunately. And, we have to be on our toes and just be aware that there are problems and diseases out there. So be safe, be careful, use your brain, and everything should be okay. It's your man, the Mattador, and I'm signing out for this Saturday. Peace.